In today's video, we're going to discuss how to find a niche that works for you. If you're new to this channel, my name is George McConnell, and I made over $1 million on Etsy last year. There are so many videos on YouTube saying, find your niche in 5 minutes, or find your niche in 10 minutes. Niche success. Here's 20 niches that, are going to make you money. They're not telling you exactly what to do to make the money. All they're saying is really basic stuff of use eRank or use Marmalade and use those, keywords that people are searching on Etsy. But they're not giving you all the details. They're not telling you what you need to do on the back end. And I'm going to cover that in this video because that's important. That's how you create a successful Etsy shop. That's how you create a shop that's going to make you millions of dollars. So we're just going to jump into this right now. And I just want you to know it's going to be a little longer than my other videos. So, if I ramble too much on those, I'm sorry, but here we go. Now, before we get into anything, I just want to discuss what a niche is. I believe that there's a lot of confusion because of all the different videos online that don't even really know what a niche is. So I'm going to read the definition and then I'm going to give you an easy way to explain this. So the definition of a niche is a segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. That is the definition. Now, I'm going to explain this as simple as I can. You have your categories, you have variations, and these two are separate. So you have category, variation. Underneath your category is your niche, not underneath variation. So your category would be, say, jewelry. Your niche would be, are you selling bracelets, rings, necklaces? That is your niche. I can even talk about apparel. That is the category. Now you have shirts, sweatshirts, pants, and so on, right? Now the confusion is a lot of people online are thinking that the variation is the niche. Now a variation would be, what are you putting on that niche? I will use an example as a cat. You have a cat, the variation of cats. You have tabby cats, you have black and white cats, orange cats, or even those freaky hairless cats. You take one of the variations and you put it under the category on the niche. Now you have your niche. Now let's get into how you find the niche that you're looking to sell. So the first thing before anything is if you're a new store, I really suggest that you start with something that you're passionate about or something that interests you, something that you have a lot of knowledge about, because you're going to have to come up with ideas. And if you really don't know what you're talking about or you're just picking something from thin air, you may not have as many ideas as other people. So first is your passion. Then from there, we're going to select what you want to do with your passion. So I'm going to continuously use cats, and the reason being is because my wife's cat comes in here and headbutts me nonstop while I'm recording these. So with a cat, let's say we're going to make shirts. Or let's just say we're going to make mugs. Now you found your niche because you love cats. And because of that, that's something that interests you. That's something that you have knowledge about or something that you do in the spare time, maybe looking on Instagram or TikTok, laughing at different cat videos, different cat quotes. And because of that, it allows you to create things. So you're not stuck just making breeds, saying, oh, well, I have a tabby cat on a shirt, or, oh, I have, the orange cat on a shirt. No, you can add different things in there. Funny memes, funny jokes, little cat sayings, cat mom or cat dad. All these different things are open now that that's an interest on you. And hey, this is what I like. I know other people like it, and that's what I'm going to do. Now that you've determined your passion or something that you're interested in or have a lot of knowledge about, step one. Step two is determining what exact category that you want to go after. And that's where you're going to develop your niche. So I'm going to read 10 different categories. There are a lot more than 10, but just to give you an idea. So you have jewelry, home and living, paper and party supplies, artwork, stickers, clothing, bath and beauty, home decor, craft supplies, stationery. All those things have different items underneath it. So that's just your category. Your niche would be what's underneath it. So if we stick with, like I said earlier, jewelry, then you're going to go after rings, necklaces, bracelets. Now, not all of your passion and interests are going to fit into every single one of these categories. So you have to write down a list of, hey, what's my passion and what categories can I sell that in? And using cat again as the example, we can sell that in a lot of different things. We could sell that in jewelry. We could sell that in home and living, pillows. We could sell that in artwork. We could sell that in clothing, even stationery. You have a little tiny notepad with a cat in the top, or, cat mom. All these things can be done with that cat if that's your interest. But depending on your interest will really help you determine what category to go into, and then from there, what niche to dive into. And now we're on to the fun part. This is the part nobody talks about, going in depth on actually how to make this into a business. Instead, every video stops here and just says, find these keywords, use E-Rank, Marmalade, and there you go. Start your shop, $1 million. Now, what I'm about to tell you will make you $1 million. So the first thing is you need to look at the research. You need to go into the market of that. And you can easily do that by, looking up keywords to see what people are searching. But that's just so minuscule to what the market offers. When you go online and you look up stuff, where do you go? You go on Google. Google has so much data that you can find anything. So if you go to Google Trends, you could see what is trending for cats. You could see what areas is trending, and even down to what videos are they looking up. And that right there will determine how to actually strategize what you want to sell on your shop. And you could do that by, saying, hey, I want to see what cat videos are popular right now in the past month, or the past 6 months, or the past year. And now you're gathering information on what people are actually searching up, what people are looking for. Then on top of that, you can go to other marketplaces, such as Amazon, which sells millions of things a day, and see what is being sold. When you go on Amazon, now they have at the bottom of each one is how much was sold in the past month. So if you search up different cat pictures, cat shirts, cat pants, cat things, you'll be able to see what is being sold more. And you can even use different items and different analyzing tools to find out what is, going up and what is going down, what is seasonal and what is not. And this is the strategy on how you make money. You can't just go after what all the competition is doing, because in most cases, some of those items have been on those stores for years. And then on top of that, who knows how much they're selling? So have they been selling? Are they not? Are they trending? Are they not? This is how you do it. So now that you've went through Google Trends and you find out what people are searching for, what people are looking at, you may have even analyzed some gaps in your competition and you know what to target and go after. Here comes the biggest thing: profitability. How much are you going to profit on the items that you sell? And this is huge. And this may actually change the way that you're looking at your niche and what your passion is. I want this item and I want that niche. But if your profits are crap, then you shouldn't go after it. Now, exactly what is a profit? A profit is how much you make, right? The biggest thing on profits that nobody talks about is your margin. Not a single person talks about what margin you should be looking at. And instead, a lot of people say, I take this item for $1 and I sell it for $3, I made $2. You take that, subtract it, there you go with your $2. You have your fees. and maybe anything else that comes with that cost. Now you may make $1, you may make even less, who knows? But now you're scratching your head going, what's going on? And instead of looking back at how much you're selling that item for, you complain about the Etsy fees. Now, I will not touch a product unless I get 85 to 90%. So when you get that $1 product and you're selling it for $3, I'm selling it for $10. I'm making $9 on that product. And from there, the fees don't really bother me. The fees actually on Etsy are pretty low compared to the other marketplaces I'm on. Walmart, Michaels. Michaels charges 15% right off the bat. Not bad. However, you don't get paid as often as you want. It could take 2 to 3 weeks to get money. And Walmart is 15 to 22%. And you have to offer free shipping. So I have to eat the shipping costs because I can't, set that price point crazy. So Etsy fees are not expensive. And a lot of these complaints are people that are not setting their margins correctly. They're not getting the profitability because they're not choosing the correct item to sell. Now, how do we choose what margin to go after? Or how do we know, hey, that's a good product? So what you do is you take the cost of that item and then you look at your competition and what they're selling it for. Now, we're going to use $1 as an example. So you buy the item for $1 and you notice that your competition is selling it for $5. You don't want to go too low, but you don't want to go too high. So $5, let's just stick with $5, right? It gives you $4 profit, 75% margins. That's not bad. If you go under that and you go at 4 or 3, at 3, it's a 67% profit. And then after you take out the $1, you're at 50%. Now you take out your fees. You see how fast you lose money because your margin's not high enough? So what you're going to have to do is after you figure out, hey, this is my, idea, this is my niche, looking at the competition, how much that item costs you, and then how much you can make off that, and what is the margin. And again, how I made all my money? 80 to 90%. I always try to stick with 90%. That is my rule of thumb. In addition to profitability and you getting your margins right, the next important step is scalability. Can you scale that business? And this is the major thing right here on what makes or breaks people. You can make good money if you're unable to scale something. That's fine. But if you want to make ridiculous money, you need to be able to scale that business. And you don't want to scale it too fast where you get overwhelmed, where you have too much inventory and you end up going out of business because you have all this inventory sitting there. But you also don't want to scale it too slow that your consumers get bored and move on. You need to do it just right. And how I advise that is we're going to use the cat and we'll say shirts again. All right. So you have cats and a shirt. Once you start bringing in money and you start seeing repeat customers and you start seeing more and more each and every single week, that's when you could start adding more things. Do you want to add more shirts? Could do that because now you're pretty good at shirts. Or you can expand it. And you can expand it to say sweatshirts. That's scaling your business. Or if you wanted to, instead, you could just add a different thing, another variation. So you got cats and you got shirts. Cat, shirt. Let's add some dogs, but keep just shirts, not anything else. Now you have the variations and multiple things. Again, another option to scaling. You don't want to just offer everything all at once. You do not want to go, I have cats, now I have dogs, now I have shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants, bags. You're going to get overwhelmed. You're not going to understand your SEO completely, and your business is going to crumble because of that. So you need to scale at a good pace, not too slow, not too fast, a good pace. And that pace is based off of your customers coming in. And scaling is how you make money. Now, this next step really depends on what niche you went after. It's not going to be for everybody, but if you sell physical items and you have different components or you have mailers, this is super important. You do not want to sell out of things. So you need to make sure that your supply and the supply chain that you're possibly using is always available. And it's cheap because you want to keep those, profits up. But you need to make sure that you can get it all year round and then how quickly you can get it. And you don't want to have to rush deliver something and spend more because that's going to cut into your profits. So it's very important to make sure that you have a supply chain and you can get something quickly. And the major reason for that is because if you sell out of a product and say that product starts catching up speed and you sell, one item and then all of a sudden you just see it start going up like crazy. And this does happen. What also happens is people sell out and they just expect, okay, I'll restock that next week and it'll be good. No, you literally killed your momentum with that product. You are never going to get that momentum back. It's gone. Now, if you would have kept stock and just kept on supplying, and this is why supply chain is so important, kept going on it, there you go. You are going to make so much money because of that product that you're just going to forget about the other ones. Really, you're just going to be like, why is this one getting so much money? I don't understand it. Don't question it. Okay, they're pushing you. Etsy is pushing you to the top, and they are pushing that product like crazy, and you need to make sure that you can supply it. Do not run out. Do not sell out. Make sure that you have a supply chain that is always available and can get you something on a moment's notice. Now, the last thing is flexibility and that ability to adapt depending on the market change. This is important because markets change frequently, especially if you went after clothing. Clothing styles change a lot. And if your inability to adapt and go with those trends, then you go out of business because you'll start seeing that your consumers go somewhere else or your views are starting to go down. Your money's going down. So you need to have that ability to be able to adapt at any waking moment depending on the trends that are going on. And that's where it comes into play on that a lot of people aren't doing is following the trends. They're not going on to Google Trends and seeing what's trending now. They're not seeing what's going on or what changes are coming up, And instead they're just relying on, hey, this item that I put on there, a year ago, it'll be good. Chances are it's probably not going to be good. It's going to start losing little by little depending on that market change. So you need to be able to adapt so that you can go with the market and continuously make money and bring it in. So just always keep that in mind that this isn't just a, one-stop shop. Here we go, put it online and I'm going to make money for the rest of my life. It does take work. And at any waking moment, that market could shift and you have to be ready for it. And when it does, the first person out the gate to tackle that is the most successful. So just keep that in mind. I hope that this video helped you understand that just finding a niche isn't as simple as everybody makes it seem to be. There's a lot of back end work that you need to do in order to be successful. And I do plan on making additional videos covering all these more in depth. I definitely want to touch base on margins and profitability. I really think that those are huge neglected things that I don't see on videos. And those videos could go on for hours. But I'm going to try to make another one that's quick, simple, and easy to understand. I'm also going to make one on how to scale things a little better. And any additional, questions you may have or videos you want to see, please leave me a comment below and I'll make sure that I tackle those for you. And I want to make sure that I give you everything that you need in order to have a successful shop. So definitely let me know. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time.